welcome back to the Dave Knows Comics live stream. I almost did it at a default. Welcome as we talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you are joining me from the Wrestling Channel, thank you so much for joining me here today because we're finally going to talk about it. I think the whole weekend and then some is enough time that you should have watched this show by now, right? First episode, you should have given it a shot. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you for the likes. And let's get the discussion on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I keep wanting to say Papa Doc and Bucky. But before we get into it, of course, just so you know, spoilers. If you're watching this, heavy spoilers for episode 1. If you have not seen it, you don't want to know anything, now's not the time. Come back after. Then will be the time. But watch the show. Let's take a time now to say hello to everybody in the chat. And oh, thank you so much for all the likes. So let's say hello. King Creativity Super. How you doing? Well, hello. Love this show so far. First episode. Joining that other channel that I don't want to talk about because this is the College channel. That's right. We don't talk about that other fool over on the Wrestling Channel. Yeah. That guy sitting in his chair with his background and everything. Ben S1 says, hey, Dave, you didn't change your background like you usually do. Yeah, I don't have it here. That's why. Hey, yo, Harry Flynn. Wow, looks like you look just like that the other YouTuber I was watching. I know. So similar. I get that a lot. All right. My first opinion. Okay, so Inigo Montoya right away. My first opinion of the Falcon and Winter Soldier is that I forgot I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Wow, Inigo forget it already. King Super says, "Bro, that's crazy. Falcon can even get a boat." Oh yes, the taxes thing. First episode was epic. Return of Batroc. Check. Flag Smasher. Check. Isaiah Bradley tease. Just a tease. Check. John Walker. Check. I'm committed. Ryan Keefe, hey, what's up? You just missed us over on the other place. But yes, I love the show. This is exactly what I'm talking about. But this is more up my alley. Unlike WandaVision, that it's like campy, it's quirky, and the type of storytelling isn't what I'm typically going into. Great that they can recreate those shows, but delaying plot and not giving you information and showing you where things are going kind of bore me. This isn't normal. You know this is unreal, surreal. You knew this wasn't a universe. You knew this one was going to be, what are you talking about? This is just a Marvel universe. It was always in black and white or whatever. No, you know it's going somewhere, so why don't you just tell me where it's going, and then I can decide on the plot. But instead, you want to just drag this out for, a third of the show. I don't know how many episodes are in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I will say this much. So right off the bat, we get a sense of what's going on. We get their character motivation. We see that Falcon is not necessarily the most financially set place. We also see that he really is not he has a little bit of insecurity. He doesn't know if he can live up to Captain America. And I want to get this out of the way. I get where his sister's coming from. But she ends up being a little harsh to the guy, don't you think? I mean, man, Papa Doc got snapped. You don't cut him a little slack for that? But now we're seeing where the world has been like as a result. Also, the Flag Smashers thinking the world was better during that time. Craziness. Hey, Tech. But let's read a little more here. What's going on? I like the exploration of the life during the blip. Me too. I as well. I like that. I like that more. I like that a lot myself. What else is in? Sorry, I was watching. Ryan Keefe. How dare ye? Well, at least the U.S. agent looks like Ed Asner's character. He's actually, I believe, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell's son, which is weird because Kurt Russell also in the MCU. It shows more of the great acting the two have in the bank. True, great acting. I love it. But I like that about WandaVision too. To be fair, I think the acting is good across the board. I'm loving it because it's a change for Bucky. Bucky's actually getting a lot of lines. And showing off his chops. Yes, that's a good point too. I would like if they had John Cena as John Walker. Okay. There's an episode from. There's 6 episodes from what I heard. Wow, only 6? The action scene looked like it could be big screen. Oh, the action's been great. Much more action, much more fighting. Good acting, good storyline. We get the motivation. We're seeing how difficult this is between both characters, really, because they're with the denial of the loan from the bank, and a lot of things, and the way his sister's treating him. We can see that Falcon is having a hard time since he wasn't around for 5 years, and then we see Bucky on the other hand, who wasn't around for freaking 70. We're seeing that both of these characters are having a rough time um, getting reacclimated into today's world. And it's strange that like 5 years can make that much of a difference, but I bet you it would. We haven't seen them unite back yet, and we know from the trailer there was also the we saw Sam throwing the shield. Maybe that could be a flashback where because gave the shield up and to get betrayed and then give it to someone new, but he gave the shield up. But we saw from the trailers him throwing the shield around, practicing in his Louisiana, or at least I think it was Louisiana. Um, Now this could be A, just footage they made for the trailer to throw you off the scent. B, he gets the shield back in the future. But that's kind of a big reveal. Or 3, this is a prequel. Now, the only reason why it may not be a prequel or kind of steers you away from prequel is in the same vein footage, you do see Bucky coming, walking. Bucky's in that scene as well, um, making you think it's not a prequel, flashback. But maybe it is because they did mention that Bucky is dodging Sam's tweets. So maybe they did talk or were friendly maybe a couple of months ago, but something happened and now they're not being friends anymore. Was Zola ever apprehended? Yes. Amir Zola? He was, yeah, remember he worked for Hydra and became the TV. I love the Brody cameo. I'm kind of happy Sam didn't take the shield right away. If he earns it, I also think it's. I do think it's. I understand this is what happened in the comic, but I always thought it was weird in the MCU that they gave the shield to Falcon in the first place. Cap gives the shield to Falcon. I was like, he doesn't have powers. I guess they're showing you could learn how to throw the shield, but at the same time, it's like he doesn't have superpowers. Bucky came from the same time as you, is your friend. He's there. He's got superpowers. How come they Captain to give the shield to him? In the MCU world, it's weird. It makes less sense the way they did it in the MCU world. Um, this shows more of how Thanos is an even greater villain. How much what he did destroy these people. Yes, very true. I would agree with that. Um, I love the opening fight scene with Sam. I thought it was great. This show seems more streamlined and leaning towards somewhere unlike the episodes of WandaVision, which just got summed up in a quote. Yes, yes, exactly, Shap Shap. It's interesting to see. Let's go. Ryan Keefe says it's interesting to see what's happened after. Yeah, I noticed that's being the biggest sentiment a lot of you guys are saying is just trying like learning about how the snap has affected everything, and I think that's a good point, and I think it's very true because as much as Spider-Man Far From Home touched upon that, and it did give you information. We definitely such a massive event that I think we needed a lot more information than what we got from just Far From Home, and we're getting that, which is good. King Kaido says, I feel like I may have more interesting watching this down the line than WandaVision. I guess because I like a buddy storyline more. Yeah, well, what's also interesting is they have not paired them back up yet. We have not seen them on screen together in episode 1. When are they getting back together? Who knows? But I do think they had an interesting dynamic. My only hesitation between with their dynamic, though, I will say this, is that when we first saw Bucky as the Winter Soldier, not as Bucky, but as the Winter Soldier, he was like, yo, don't mess with this dude. Like, in Civil War, he was, whoa, like, he could take down he was at least holding his own against or a bunch of Avengers at once. But then towards the end of I'm sorry, that was Winter Soldier. Not I'm sorry. When we saw him in Winter Soldier, he was this super dangerous dude. Then we saw him in Civil War. In the beginning, he was pretty rough and tough and dangerous, but then towards the end, it was I hate you. Can you move the seat up a little bit? And it's fine. It is funny, but it is weird how Falcon went from knowing that this dude is the guy that you do not mess with to just not even caring. Just move your seat up a bit. No. And all of a sudden, I don't know if I saw a guy like Winter Soldier do the things he does. I don't think I could snap out of that quick. And remember, Falcon got beat up by Ant-Man. So I'm just saying, in terms of status, it just seems interesting. Is MCU Bucky older than Steve? I don't think so. I think they're about the same age. He could be. I don't really know. Wings and a droid. Yeah, he's already got a gimmick. Oh, never mind. Harry says yes. Okay, I was not aware. It should have been Steve gave the shield to Bucky. That's something, Inigo. Sure. Yeah, I heard something about that. Heard something about what? Kind of shocked they haven't gone. Movie's coming out in September. I didn't realize it was coming out in September. Far From Home kind of swept it under the rug. Yeah, it was more. I mean, Far From Home was more comedic. They're not going to get into the finances and all that. Yeah, I understand that. Couldn't have done that earlier. I hate you. Oh, that. Yeah. I mean, it was funny. It just seems interesting to me that this guy for an entire movie was whoa crap, and then the beginning of Civil War is just laying waste to a whole bunch of Avengers at once without even breaking a sweat, and then at the end, you're like, hey, we're buddies now. Yeah, Falcon lost to Ant-Man. Bucky, yeah, exactly. He lost to Ant-Man. I'd, I'd watch my mouth. I mean, this dude's a real gangster. His real name's Clarence. It's just, only because he was occasionally unfrozen gives him a mission. Well, I don't think we're talking about actual years of aging. I think we're talking about who was born first. At least I think that's what Ron was asking. I like the way they gave the shield to Sam at the end of it. Hey, that's cool. That's cool if you do. Inigo Montoya, my problem with is that Bucky is a Winter Soldier. Why would he be Captain America when he possibly isn't fully healed? Wakanda technology. He is fully healed, and he's got a much better arm. And remember, Shuri made me an Avenger when I saw her in New York. I have a whole thing about. I have a whole live stream about it. So I'm an authority now because Shuri made me an Avenger. I seen it. It happened. All right. So yeah. Okay. So another thing I thought was interesting is they're really driving home this idea of redemption for Bucky, which I think is necessary, showing what his consequences actions, and that it does bother him. I think that's pretty. I like that we're having two different. One's a redemption arc, and the other one is him just trying to make right. Just trying to take care of. They're both in both ways seeking redemption in some ways. But Sam's more positive ended, where Bucky is more on the darker side. It's a very interesting dynamic. I have comics when it wasn't clear that he was fully healed. Well, fine if you want to get technical, but Shuri did it. Like I said, my close personal friend who made me an Avenger, Shuri, healed him with the power of. Yeah, the magic thing, the do a diem, just snap your fingers and he's magically healed. And it'd be kind of bad PR if the Winter Soldier, Hydra, the weapon, Captain. I am also interested. They said that Hydra broke up, and it's like, did they? Hydra disbanded. You sure? I don't know who's leading it, but come on. Ant-Man is no one to sneeze at. More powerful than he just gets credit for. Also, we all know Sam and Bucky will have a fight scene when Zemo re-triggers his brain again. That'd be awesome. Look, fine. I know there's the whole Ant-Man and Thanos thing, but Ant-Man just got that suit. Like, he just got his powers. Falcon had been Falcon for a while. I'm just saying. Papa Doc lost to Paul Rudd. And furthermore than this, here's something I've always wondered about. They mentioned that the Falcon flight suit was like a Stark Tech thing. There is the implication that the flight suit that he mastered in the Air Force, he shouldn't be the only one with them. Oh, by the way, awesome seeing Rhodes. Speaking of the Air Force, there should have been other Falcons in the MCU somewhere, right? It's weird to me that they kind of glazed over that's how he got his gear. They don't really bring up the Stark aspect. But furthermore than that, the other part I want to say is we have in the same MCU the Vulture, the Tinkerer. They steal gear from bad guy or from heroes. They're bad guys that steal gear from superheroes, and they have superpowered stuff and they steal gear. The Vulture is like a dude with wings. Falcon and already exists with tech, with Stark tech. How did this? How did and then? But yet somehow they had to make their own wings with a fan in them. It just is it just me or that they had it was right there. I'm taking Quantum Realm. I'm even talking about his suppository aspiration. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I. Is Wanda officially the most powerful Avenger now, or is it still debatable? They still claim that Carol Danvers is. Hey, Sweep. I think new character is going to be another Falcon. Maybe. This suit gets Wakandan upgrades in the comic canon. At this point, everybody gets a Wakandan upgrade. It doesn't even mean anything anymore. They did that with Animanium. It's like, oh, Bullseye has it on his spine. Okay, great. This is apparently not that rare. You don't underestimate the power of Paul Rudd. Too late, I already did. The most powerful thing he did was get Alicia Silverstone. I should put 99% sure that he's immortal. New character is Falcon's buddy. She has to be the most powerful, if that's the case. I don't think so. Carol Danvers destroyed that big Thanos spaceship. She can fly around the entire universe, or at least a galaxy. She's definitely more powerful than Wanda. Falcon's buddy is actually another Falcon in the comics. Who's Falcon's buddy? In the first episode? Who am I missing? Wakanda Tech is the new Stark Tech now. Oh, absolutely. Totally replaced it. I'm trying to think who is Falcon's buddy, because I just remember his scenes with his sister. He has a friend in that episode I was missing. Does Falcon even have a rogues gallery, or even a rogue? Not that I know of. Sorry, I missed part 2. Hey, that's okay, buddy. Just missed it. Hopefully you'll be around for the last episode. I wonder if Von Strucker or Zemo is the big bad behind this. I hope so. I hope that they. I hope that. I would like it if it was Zemo, but if they went beyond Strucker, I don't need. They did Strucker. He was here, and Backtrack coming back was a surprise. But also seeing as Winter Soldier is my absolute favorite MCU movie of all time. Of course, this speaks to me. Of course, this is up my alley. Of course, I was going to like this. And I'm already going to say right now, I'm liking this more than Loki looks. But I have like a quip meter where it's like a little too much and of the jokey weirdness. I like a more straightforward action story. It'll never happen, but it would be sick if Punisher showed up. He's got to show up sooner or later, right? At least I think he does. I was going to say Ryan Keefe, but yeah, it's comic books. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, he's still a friend. Funny as I forgot his friend's name too. He's spying on the Klan and got beat up in the episode. Oh yeah, that guy. Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. Now I remember. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about who you were talking about. But yeah, that guy. Yeah, they're gonna do something with that dude. Yeah. Now I remember. The missed opportunity was no Hawkeye cap. No Ronan. Well, I mean, I guess we kind of got a Ronan. What about Captain Punisher? See, I don't. I do. I also think it was good. Here didn't rush the Iron Man franchise. Okay. I like that it ended with them revealing the new Captain America, the new and improved Captain America, because I definitely want to see where this goes, and that probably reunites Sam and Bucky. Could it be their first mission is to steal the shield back? Could have had one more great movie. For me, Iron Man, solo-wise, only had one great movie, but he could have. Alright, so what else do we think? Okay, so let's talk about what we think is going to happen moving forward. What do we... So, yeah, as I said, I I do think there's a shot they steal the shield back, which I think will be an interesting mission. But yeah, what do we think is going to happen going forward? Everyone freaking out about the new Cap. I guarantee you Sam will be the new Cap by the end of the series. I'm assuming so. I kind of wouldn't mind it if the series ends with both of them saying they don't need to be Captain America. None of them need to be Captain America. Bucky or Falcon, and they just embrace their own identity. It might end with Falcon being Captain America. That could be, because this story so far seems like Sam really lacks confidence. He doesn't feel worthy, and he's got big shoes to fill. So, of course, the best way to tie that story off is to say, here you go, you've earned it, here, you deserve to fill the shoes, you deserve every bit of it, you deserve the shield. However, in my opinion, what would be better than saying, I can't live up to this hero, is to not, in my opinion, is to not even try. Be your own hero. Like, that's what I would like. And for both of them, too. Because Bucky's also trying to redeem himself. I want to see that. I want to see them make peace with who they are, rather than try to fulfill another mantle or legacy. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's more satisfying. But I would not be surprised if it ends with him just being Cap. And well, and the way I'm talking is if it's about them being their own person and not worrying about the shadow or the legacy, like a big shadow of Steve Rogers, it makes it better because now you have a satisfying ending for both of them. Unless they're both going to be Captain America, you don't really. If it's just about Sam being Captain America, Bucky's just sitting out there in the cold. How the title of Captain America had to be passed down. I didn't know the title of Captain America had to be passed down. It doesn't have to. It just is. Quick question: is Bucky becoming White Wolf an entire different story in itself, or it could be part of the story? It could be. It could be not be. Only time will tell. I know I'm not supposed to talk about wrestling in this channel, but what? Wait, they actually mentioned Bull Nakano. Yeah, that was pretty surprising. I think Zemo will hypnotize Bucky. The way you word it makes it sound like he's just waving a pocket watch in front of his face going, "Be bad now." I'm sorry, and he tries to get help and responds. Yeah, look, that ending, but fighting the two of them fighting could be pretty strong. But like I said, the guy got beat by a freshman year Ant-Man. The idea that he could hold his own against Super Soldier, Winter Soldier, Super Bucky, I don't like his chances. Let's introduce. It could be. They could be introducing him as Cap's son. That's the question. What are they gonna do with John Walker? Where are they gonna go with this? Steve is Captain America. They should just retire Mantle. I'm kind of with you on that. Let's see if John Walker accepts Cap's philosophy and they give him the shield and becomes U.S. agent. I would like it if John Walker was a much more aggressive Captain America. Like, I want them to showcase why it doesn't work with Walker being Captain America. I want him to be not necessarily ineffective, but more aggressive. I mean, one thing that they did in the movies of the MCU that I don't particularly like, and this is not, and different comic books have different takes on this, but it has been mentioned at times that Captain America's weapon of choice is a shield because it stands for defense. It's like that rule 1 of Miyagi-Do karate. It's defense only. He'd rather defend than shoot a gun. But in the MCU, you fire guns all the time. Ain't no big deal. Granted, he did that in War. He did that in Avengers as well. But the point of the matter is, the Captain America we got was a little more aggressive than some interpretations of him in the comics have, which I actually prefer those more G-rated or the more the less trigger happy Cap. And then when Bucky took over as shiny Captain America, they pushed him more as like he was willing to use weapons and guns and all that kind of stuff. So then you get the contrast. But since Steve does it in the MCU, I don't think it's really that big of a deal if we get like Punisher Captain Punisher or whatever. Hey, True Sinister. Maybe True Sinister. I think Discount Captain America was working for the bad guys whose names could be Swerve, bro. Could be. Maybe the guys behind this are all Hydra and cut one head off, and the other, and maybe that's where they're going with this. In true Miami philosophy, defense takes many forms. Maybe. Maybe. Well, Bucky and Sam aren't afraid of breaking the law, so easily. Well, the other part of it is Sam works for, like that ops he had in the beginning. Like clearly that was a government thing, right? Like he was working with the Air Force. He wasn't just doing it of his own volition. And same thing with Civil War. Like he's part of the team. Like the how broke he was surprised me because I figured, well, no, being an Avenger doesn't pay you, but working with doing covert ops, he's gotta be being paid for that, right? And it's weird that we're having this conversation about superhero paychecks. I just realized how similar Red Hood and Winter Soldier are. Well, both of them are part of that comic book lore where you said that everybody comes back except for Jason Todd, Uncle Ben, and Bucky. 2 out of 3 of those. Breathing Nerdland says touche. James, of course, who's got to chime in on that one. James should just confess and come clean. I think he did. He got a pardon. Well, he was also on the run for 2 years. That might have depleted his funds. Sam wasn't on the run for. Oh yeah, I guess he was. Wow. Yeah, I forgot it was 2 years. Yeah. But now But they showed in the first beginning of the episode that he was working with the Air Force. So that's got to help, right? That's got to pay for something. He's not Bucky or Winter Soldier. He's James. Well, excuse his Mises. I hate that guy. They kept getting. Oh yeah, the lone guy. Well, whoever really likes that guy anyway. Yeah, that dude was made to hate. He was like the anti-Coulson. Oh, what do you think Mark Millar's Ultimate Cap? I thought it was clever how progressive guy. Yeah, it is interesting, Ron. I no doubt about it. I agree that it was an interesting interpretation of Captain America. However, I like real Cap. Him being, the gold standard of being a decent human being. That's kind of where I want. Yeah, True Sister, I mentioned that earlier where I was like, yo, Sam's sister, I get her point, but she, at the same time, it's like, the dude got snapped away. You think you have a little sympathy towards him. Other question is, when does Falcon and Winter Soldier take place? Does it take place in 2023? Or does it take place later? I wish they had a scene in Civil War where Sam tells Steve about Ant-Man successfully stealing. He goes, hey, it was not going to happen again the second time, Tic Tac. He told him. He didn't tell Steve about it. But he told Paul Rudd. He's like, hey, Papa Doc coming for you. Yeah, he had one job. I also think it was weird. What was he doing there? So let's get this straight. The Avengers compound, they just make Sam just walk around the roof like all day by himself. That seems kind of lame. Planet One. Oh yeah, no doubt, Ron. Has anyone realized that Quicksilver is the Uncle Ben of the MCU, since he's the only one that hasn't been brought back? He was brought back in a different form, kind of. Posters making fun of American propaganda, the military, and the government. I also for a guy who grew up in, he didn't accidentally say that No, the insensitivity came from Hulk for that Wakanda scene. How many times I gotta tell you? I've said it. I mean, I actually don't know if I've told you, but I've mentioned it before. This doesn't seem a little. I'm just saying. I've mentioned this. These guys know what I'm talking about. The Hulk was the guy. But see, this is the other part I don't like. I don't think that you should treat people who were around from that time period and just assume that they're all messed up, because I don't think that's fair, too. It's a confusing character. He does now. Is it just Papa Doc? No, he's Papa Doc to me. I actually like that name. Like, that's a cool rap name, Papa Doc. On Civil War, Sam says he knows a guy, and Steve had to ask where. At one point, Sam would have to explain where he knows Ant-Man. Yeah, well, that's true. Maybe they just mentioned it off screen and they didn't want to show it because they didn't want him to get embarrassed. All right. So, any other thoughts that we want to share about the show before we wrap up? Yeah. And personally speaking, I've always liked the way it is in the comic books. Prejudice based off of race and other things like that just don't exist in Marvel. They use mutants as allegories because in a lot with the new technology and the new advances and adventures that they have in the Marvel universe, it's a more advanced society than the one we currently live in. I always like that. It's like you get the message for. I had cab callings. Yeah, Ron. Like, I get it. I believe, like I said, I get it. But I really don't like the stereotype that people of a certain age are all like that. Because I know someone who was born, not quite as old as Captain America, but I know someone who is much, much older. I know people much, much older, and they don't talk like that or think like that or, I don't know, but, it's like that in Season Sorry show. It's like that in Season Sorry show that she had. And she's like, oh, where, he talks to his friend's, I think, grandmother, and it was, oh, so you assumed because I was old I was racist. And he's like, how the tables have turned. Like, I don't want them to go down that road. Yeah. He also established Happy Hogan is head of security at Avengers, so, yeah. Why? Yeah, breathing nerdum, good point. Okay. King Creativity, I don't know what you're yapping about. Anyway, Papa Doc sounds like someone from a preschool show. Well, now he does, but in the movie it was cool. In the movie, Papa Doc was like the Johnny Lawrence of 8 Mile. Um, okay, so yeah. So anything else we want to say before we wrap this up? Papa Doc choke. M threw him off his game. He didn't expect that he was going to just make fun of himself for 2 out of his 3 minutes. I wonder if this sets the stage for Weapons Plus. I hope so. They're going to Man Rapport. This for Bucky, Thor, and Wanda. Well, don't worry, Tech. They're fictional characters. I'm sure you don't gotta. They'll be fine no matter what. Their lives have been rough. Yeah, it's a good thing they're not real, Tech. Don't worry. Yes, I did block you on the Twitter. That's what you get for bringing up for. Why'd you gotta put my name in your mouth for talking about that thing that I don't want to do? You know what I'm talking about. You did that. I got rid of somebody from all the Dave Knows works just because of doing that. So you got the same thing. You could have just left me out of it, but you and Albert had to just drag me into your little conversation. That's what you get, True Sinister. That's why you got the blockade. And be introduced. I don't know, because they made vibranium so powerful. So what? It would be nuts, though, if somebody had some vibranium or something. This is vibranium, can't be destroyed, and then just cut through. Well, then again, they did introduce Uru, but just breaks through, and it's like, whoa, what cut through vibranium? Adamantium. Dave, you streaming tomorrow night? Yeah, I'm gonna probably if they do the last episode of the women's wrestlers, I should be on tomorrow. I really like Twilight Zone stuff going on the first couple of episodes of what? Of WandaVision. No, people did. I didn't. But to me, it wasn't Twilight Zone because Twilight Zone has this thing where every episode has this plot that's resolved at the end. Where the first 3 episodes of WandaVision were just random crap that told you nothing. But hey, that's just me. I didn't know you would do that or felt that way. Well, you do now. I wouldn't have done it. Well, some lessons gotta be learned the hard way. Adamantium is a vibranium alloy. That's the shield. Adamantium is adamantium. They are different. It's okay, Harry. He's kidding around. You can let it go. Um, but yes, what was I talking about? So yeah. Anyway, all right. I just realized this is only one episode, and WandaVision gets 2 episodes. Why couldn't we get 2 episodes of this show? But whatever. But there's only 6 episodes, so just less. Anyway, I'm digging the show. I'm very much looking forward to the next episode. Let me know where you guys stand on it later on. We'll talk about it some more. Thank you for being here. I'm going to get going. And as always, Dave knows.